Hey, Dev.
When do you want to chat about those apps?
I'm ready to chat about that now. I just I'm playing with it's a funny story actually. Come take a look. It's kind of cool. So I'm doing a demo later today.
Okay.
Let me see if this even gets. Oh, okay. Turn camera on. There we go. So I'm trying to set up a live stream here. There it is. It's not the one. So I want to have a new stream URL here. Then I want to. That's better. Then I want log in. See how many experiences that's on the beta server? It's ridiculous.
We should have a button of sorts like mark for deletion and do a weekly cleanup and delete those events.
Yeah. I'll just use my own email here. So at the same time, I'm actually sharing my screen here. So I'm so there's sort of a lot of stuff going on at the same time. Let me see if I can hit the login button successfully. Because I need to show this screen to some people on the Zoom channel.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah, this is so confusing on so many levels because I also have like the whole Hangout thing going at the same time. It's silly. But it's surprisingly well functioning, no? I mean, I'm streaming from here to here through Zoom. Oh, why is there no video here?
You have the wrong action?
Yeah, I do. Question is, what is that called even? Group correction. It's like not that many options, but I'm sure I'm gonna get it right straight away. Come on.
It takes a while.
GD City Virtual. That's the one. I think maybe I'm not. We'll see now. Oh, am I on the wrong experience? Did I say?
I didn't see which one you logged into.
No, I'm just in doubt of whether I'd logged into the.
Right experience.
Yeah, if I actually logged into what's it called? The demo. Well, there's two. There's oh shit. Yeah. There's two versions of this. Stop. There's both a city demo and city demo and a non-demo version. So I don't think I'm.
I don't think you're part of the track.
Right. That's annoying.
So you need to use a
different then I can use this guy. GD 3156. Can you remember that?
Yeah, 576.
GD
31576.
It's like city or something. Come on.
Not fun at all. You really should be doing that.
No, it's a demo. It's the editor.
Oh, okay. Demo event that you created?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's on the demo event. Yeah, so I think we're okay. No. Yes. And the users that are created here are always the old users. They add new users all the time.
Okay.
Okay, this be interesting. There we go. So that should be us.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Oh, did it freeze? Okay, so now you can see you. Let's see how long it is. "15 seconds lag," which is actually pretty. I think it's or maybe it's 20, but still,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty decent actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, sweet. It's pretty cool. And then, and what I'm showing is this thing, which is mildly out of sync. Oh yeah, that it won't even help anytime soon. I can do like this.
Okay.
Fun. Okay, let's leave that for a moment and talk about the questions from Dylan News. I think there's a couple of things actually. The first thing is about this Windows Phone thing. I think that's like he says it's out of focus now, and I don't think we want to work on it even. But did you see his email?
I just
Okay, cool. Look, so the question is, he asked us to, or can we deploy offline on app on iOS and on Android?
So we don't have apps right now, so we need to create new ones.
Exactly. That's what I told him, that we know that the technology, but we haven't done it before. So if we need to do it, we need to put some slack in the timeline to figure it out.
Yeah.
But we know we can, that it's possible to do.
Right.
Yeah. Just haven't done it before. Are there any sort of immediate threats to this that you can see? So the next question is, what about once you have a BA2 on your iOS device, and you walk into an airplane and start playing with it? Because when we say offline iOS, we might as well do like the combination where you try to sync up, and if you can't, that's fine, you can still use it. How do you save your version?
You can't save a CSV file on there.
Things you can do, right? So there's one thing is you can't export a CSV file on your iPad. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can't export a CSV file on an iPad or an iPhone.
Same on Android. Yeah.
I think on Android you can still do it probably because it does support different file types.
Okay. You can't write to the disk on an iPad. That's the point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And because the file format is not really supported either, so it doesn't work that way.
Good, but I think that's just something to call out, that when you're on your app, you can't do intelligent exports, and I feel like that's kind of fine because.
Yeah. I mean, what you can probably do is send an email out instead.
With the CSV?
Yeah. Because
the CSV is generated on the server, so export could actually launch on a mail with the attached file.
With the attached file, but that's something we need to explore
and try out. Exactly. But that's like so. But
that's really a workaround that should be acceptable. But I don't know, how feasible it is to get it to work.
Oh, but that's a pain, right?
AirDrop is gonna be a pain.
Yeah. But it's also stupid because no one can use it. No one has access.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I think that's a nice way to think about it.
Yeah. Maybe just an email attachment, but should really work. Is what
I would be happy with that. Yeah. Okay. But that's the export. But what about the same different projects stuff that you just built for Santa? That's different too.
Yeah, that can be offline. You need a Pulse server for that. I mean, you can do it without a Pulse server. That will be a local storage in that case, and it will still work the same way.
But we just need to think about that case. I mean, so I don't think we're not. But I'm not trying to get us to do any work here at all. We're just exploring, would it be feasible? And because what we need is this smooth transition between offline and online. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to think when we go app. I don't think we need to think about offline only. To think about what does it work like between those environments. So what if I'm in an airplane and I want to retrieve one of my projects? That I can't. It's on the server.
Exactly.
I'm saying though, what if we started rethinking that a little bit so that we have a local version of projects, whatever we call it, versions, and then we have a server version, and then we need to decide which is the master, obviously. and that would be, and there's always some master issues there when you have a version. I mean, if you had 2 iPads, that's the problem.
Yeah,
right?
if
Back
you have
and
multiple
forth.
devices, you don't know which one is the master anymore.
Yeah. And that's why we want the server one to be the master. That
And
doesn't
even
work.
that
if you're
doesn't work.
offline.
No, even if you have 2 multiple devices, you don't know which data to save as a master data, because you're still logged into the same app or the same Pulse server. And then what do you do about it? Because you're getting data being sent from 2 different apps for the same experience.
I think we're exploring right now. Sort of disallowing simultaneous logins for the same login, right? So that you have dev logging in here and dev logging in here, which would work fine now. So we're trying to get out of that scenario system side, right? So we could make that work for. Well, I think so. That's sort of one problem aside. But even the asynchronous, right? So you're logged in on your laptop, you shut down your laptop, you log in on your phone, which we would allow you to do. I think we have to allow you to do.
Yeah.
And then we have that same problem. But
the problem is you won't be able to get the data back to the server in that case. So what will happen is the next time you log on to your iPad and you have a new data set on the server, you can probably get a prompt saying, do you want to use your local data or this data from the server?
Which is a really hard question to answer for a user, right? I know exactly what it means, but I'm saying that as a user, I think it's hard to manage.
But okay, that's how I've seen apps work.
Yeah.
Most game apps you follow the same pattern where
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what they do is when you launch the app for the first time, they'll check against the server saying which data you want to load. So if there is no conflict, you don't have a set of local data, and it matches what you have on the server, it just loads fine. If there's a different timestamp on the server, it will ask you whether you want to use the local data or the data on the server, something of that sort.
That's interesting. So, and does that? So I think that the really interesting thing is whether we could ever consider syncing if we say the server is the master, I think it has to be. Consider syncing your projects or your versions or whatever you want to call it from the server to your local storage when you log in. That would really
because that's what happens is what I'm trying to say. So when you have a conflict, where your local data has a different timestamp from what's on the server, asking the user whether he wants to use the existing data on the device. And as a master, you should have that flexibility.
I don't think we're talking about the same use case. I think what you're saying all makes sense, and I agree with that. I think the use case is a little bit different. So now I've worked on my BA2, the Sandy BA2, created 5 projects.
Right.
Throw it away. Take my device. It can be an iPad, it can be a laptop, but it's just one device. And I log in.
You get all the 5 projects from the server. That's how it works.
Because it lives on the server.
Yeah.
I get that. So now I take this device, let's say that it's an iPad and I have an app on it, and I walk into an airplane and I switch on my flight mode.
Right.
So if we wanted to do full support of our features, we wouldn't fetch projects from the server, we would fetch them from local storage. And that's what you're saying is what we do right now?
No. So when you launch the app, so now what happens is it tries to hit the server and check you have any projects or not.
And authenticate you.
Exactly. But if you are not, the internet, first question is how do you log in?
Exactly.
So that's something we need to figure out first, because there's no login mechanism otherwise.
And maybe but there are ways to do that though. For example, insisting that you logged in before and saving your session for a very long time or stuff like that could be outcomes of that discussion.
Yeah. So that's one thing. So say you have a way to make sure that the user stays logged in even when he's offline.
Let's play with that. Yeah.
And it's a new device, so you don't have any data on the device, but you have some data that lives on the server.
Yeah.
I'm on an airplane. I don't have access to internet. I launched the app. I don't have any projects.
Yeah.
So still, I'll try and create a new project. Next time, when I get at the airport, I have Wi-Fi and I launch the app again. It will ask me, do you want to use existing data on the device or do you want use the data from the server? Because
you have 2 sets of
different data. Exactly.
Yeah. Ideally, they would be able to merge, right?
No, you don't usually merge that.
But I mean, if you have because I think in this case,
because it could be, it could be the same project. So which should I do choose over which one?
Yeah, but that's your problem, I think. I mean, you as in the user's problem.
Merging it is, I think, is a lot more tricky to do because you don't know what the data will be when you merge it.
Yeah, why not? But so I'm not talking about merging two existing projects into one. I'm talking about you have 3 projects on the server, 1 on the app.
Yeah.
And I want that the one on the app to be saved as the 4th one on the server.
No, but what if they have the same project ID? What do you
then
do?
They can delete the one that doesn't help them or whatever.
So how do you give them a UI to choose which project to merge?
Well, they can do that already. When they open up the app, then they can choose between the existing projects, the home screen.
Yeah, but when you're doing a conflict management, there is no home screen. It's just a different window saying which data you want to pull from.
Well, I think it sounds like there's definitely some user flows to consider. Yeah. I mean, to figure out what do we even want to try to do.
Exactly.
But I think it's worth calling out to Dylan that there is something about offline and retrieving existing project, right?
Right.
Because you only retrieve what you need. I mean, right now when I log in and I want that project, that's the one I fetch and play with.
Right.
So we could probably make it work so that you did that and walked into the airplane and kept playing with it, and the numbers would work as you would want them to.
Right.
But but will we ever allow you to have multiple projects going on at the same time and so on? I don't know. Or would we just allow you to create a new one?
Yeah.
And would we even do? Yeah. So there's some things there to figure out.
Because Mikhail, the point where you want to restrict them from creating the same project ID, even that won't work because you don't have any data on you.
And that is something we need.
Yeah. So without that, you can't restrict the user at all. So.
But I feel like I don't think we're not trying to do any of this right now. We're just trying to figure out what we need to make them aware of. Like, don't sell this because it's tricky.
No, I mean, this was what even I heard on the TI project. So the account evening Perth was talking about whether we can have an offline app for this. We are like we don't have one right now, but obviously we want to look into it in the future.
Yeah.
And the other thing obviously is the BA2s need to support the mobile layouts up when we do the app.
Which is different, yeah.
So that's something we need to factor in the development itself.
So let me tell you about that. What I know about it now. So we're Avi's team that you're technically on to some extent, right?
Yeah.
So I briefed Avi on the need for a default design. I think that's selling it a bit short for a template layout, if you like, a template app actually.
Right.
That we can work from, so that the idea was to build a shell that has navigation set up in what might I call it, initial navigation, base navigation set up that had a couple of pages defined and sort of all types of interactions predefined, and then that's where you start building your new app from, and then we would probably version that from a BA2 to a BA1 because they are pretty different.
Yeah, exactly. And the structure for both the apps would be different. Even the winning a business product would vary.
Business is totally different. Yeah. So that's like at a side.
Yeah.
But I think
so if you create templates, we'll need to have a template for each different type of product.
Yeah, and I think
they differ a bit, how they work.
They definitely do. Yeah. I just agree with that. I think the only thing I'll say is that BA1s and 2s are closer related than a BA1 and winning business. Even though we technically are extremely close to each other, they're as products very different. So I think it'll be very strong to have a strong visual relationship between the two sides as well, because you will go into a workshop, do a BA1, get a BA2 with you on your way out, and it's beautiful symbiosis if you can make them work together. Not work together, but look related.
Right.
So, anyways, the point is that what he is working on with his team, with some of the visual guys, girls actually. He's working with them on coming up with some wireframes and drafts. And Dylan and Adam, the other end, are super excited about this because they think they can sell 80% template.
Right. Yeah.
And then part of the brief is that BA2s have to consider mobile. So we need some ideas on how we can lay that content out. So we will have a template that supports mobile, and then when we implement on every single project, we have to factor that in.
Yeah.
And what that looks like is completely unanswered. Expects this to be sorted in a couple of weeks. It's just
it will take some time.
It's a project, right? But I feel like we're actually taking steps now to mediate it. And I don't think I showed you, but I did sort of this whole rap yesterday to Dylan about him trying to line up designers for these projects and the problem that sort of inherently will be with that. I mean, that they are print designers and all that fun. And he's totally on board with what we're saying there.
Right.
So what he's trying to do is to set us up for the 20% projects where we do need designers, and then making sure that they factor that into their normal work and they should be on. What I phrased it as, if they should give us input on design, they shouldn't own design, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like that whole space is coming together nicely on expectations right now.
Yeah.
So I think that works quite well. Okay, so this was actually interesting to explore a little bit. So one more thing is that we have a new EA2 coming up for Takeda. That's actually the guys I'm demoing for this afternoon.
Okay.
Not completely unrelated buying centers. So I asked Mahesh to sit down and chat about how we were going to do this, because you're just going to end up being a bottleneck and stressed out on these projects if you're the only one focused on it. So that's the meeting we're having later, and I'll let you know how that flies. Sure. Just so you've heard about it. Yeah. What else? What about the design opinions Jeanette had on the app? How do you feel about that?
She just sent over some InDesign files, which I can't open on my machine because I don't have that software.
Awesome.
So there's a screenshot of it. So I've asked Pratika to take a look at it. So let's see if she can get to it.
I mean, if it's totally just sort of confused, what I want to say, if it messes with our timelines and focus. Then let's discuss when to care about it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're able to get to that today. So once we actually take a look at it, we can maybe set up a call with Trevor later tonight and speak with him about it.
Exactly. And what about the rest of the sanction stuff? Are we getting what we need from them at all?
So there's nothing on the model front because Sagar's on leave. So it comes back on Monday.
Monday was the earliest he said, so Tuesday our time.
So I don't even know if he's getting to work on it because he's on vacation. So I have no idea.
And what about the report page? That's also completely on hold.
So he did send some data with some static values on it, but he didn't put range names on them. Data for us right now, it says nothing is in the model that is logically changing on the decision.
So how are we feeling on the deadline that they asked us for, like 3rd of March?
I mean, I think we should be able to still get it in place. I mean,
with the report page and print stuff. Some of the print stuff.
Yeah. So the print stuff should come along easily. I don't think we should have a problem or any hiccups there because the structure is in there.
There's 2 print stuff, side stuff, right? There's both the ability to just pull the numbers. That's the one you showed me, and then there's
that's the actual print on paper, the one I showed you.
Sorry, but that's what I meant. So that I think that's what I meant. So the
other one was a CSV sort of thing, right?
So I thought the one you showed me was actually the
CSV?
the getting the numbers out of the system style. Okay, I think what I remember is that the print they were talking about had the purpose of showing the comparison scenarios from the report page. So that was basically printing the report page.
Yeah. So he did send us a layout, but I don't think he's sent a layout for the report page because the report page is not even ready.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but still getting it in place shouldn't be too much of a problem unless it's completely different.
Fair.
So
I guess they could probably dev review it without that. If we need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still feeling reasonably good about that. I think the one thing that's really critical right now is to make sure that if we see anything that causes us to doubt that deadline, we need to call it out right away.
Yeah.
So if you feel like we're running into stuff that's unmanageable, or those guys all of a sudden have to take 3 days off because of vacation or whatever, right? Then we really need to let them know.
Makes sense.
Okay. Good. Sounds like we're on top of it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, no problem.